Hello, welcome to Access, I'm Nathan, and I recently had the chance to play through the first few hours of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is the new game from Dark Souls and Bloodborne studio From Software. Sekiro is like those games in some ways and not like them in others. What I'm going to do in this video is look at how the story is laid out in the first few hours. There will be spoilers if you like to discover these early things for yourself, and to ponder some of the NPCs we meet, some of the systems and lore around the game's life and death mechanic, and ask rather than answer a bunch of questions about what it might all mean. The opening of the game, which we can't show but has appeared in some trailers, sets the scene in a more direct way than most From Software games. We're in the Sengoku period, a time of war and social upheaval in Japan. You, because in this game you're a specific character, are found on the battlefield as a child and raised as a shinobi. And once your training is complete, you're handed from your adoptive father, the warrior known as the Owl, to your charge. As of today, the Owl says, he is your master, referring to the young lord Kuro. You are known as Kuro's wolf. Skip forward a little in time and you have lost everything. Your lord has been taken as war rages on, and you sneak into a castle to rescue him. He gives you your sword, Kusabimaru, and you find a secret passage out of the castle, only to face Lord Genichiro in a fight that leaves you without your arm. And then you wake up, and this is where we started capturing the game. When you wake up, you're with the Sculptor. The first thing you notice is that you have a new arm, the Shinobi Prosthetic. We've seen this in previous gameplay videos, and now we know that it was created by the Sculptor, who sits in a small temple carving Buddha statues, which are all over the place. He gives you your first insight into the world and what's happening, and when you find Shinobi tools around the world, he's the guy who'll fit them into the prosthetic. He's also, possibly, the person who's created the Sculptors Idols, which serve as the checkpoints around the world, much like Dark Souls bonfires. You visit the first one of these right outside the Sculptor's temple. Like bonfires, they reset health, most enemies, and are where you can level skills, although Sekiro's stats are much simpler. But you can also buy spirit emblems, which give you charges for your prosthetic weapon abilities, and fast travel to other idol locations. Why do I say the Sculptor only possibly made these idols? Because of something he says when you approach one of the Buddhas in his room. That was made by the true Sculptor, he says. This Buddha is a strange and important object, and we'll return to it in a bit, but for now let's enjoy this intriguing idea of the true Sculptor, a powerful creator leaving mysterious objects in the world, the idea of sacred knowledge and divine workmanship, and a sense of longing for something lost. It's all that good From Software stuff. There are some other NPCs in this starting area too. There's a woman called Emma. She's a doctor, and while she won't explain who she's working for, she does explain that she's been instructed to help you. She's the creator of the Healing Gourd, an item that Lord Kuro gives you that acts like the Estus flask in Dark Souls. She can improve it too if you bring her gourd seeds. The Sculptor also suggests that you go to speak with Immortal Hanbei, a friendly man who asks you to attack him immediately. Hanbei seems to be here for two reasons. Firstly, so you can practice Sekiro's tricky combat specifics somewhere safe, and also to tease another bit of lore. Why can't he die? What does it mean that he refers to himself as undying and even as infested? Life and death play a central role in From's other games, but this seems different to the reason that you, the wolf, are able to come back to life. And let's talk about that. This is the first time I died in the game. I'm fighting General Naomori Kawarada, and I went in for one slash attack too many. On the black screen that follows, the Lord's voice says, and from this point, not only can I resurrect here, but I can resurrect every time I have a charged ability to do so. The Lord's blood seems to have given me this power, as though there's something inherently special about it, something supernatural, the divine heir's blood, as the screen puts it. There's more to this. Earlier, the Sculptor makes reference to why the young lord has been taken in the first place. He talks about the dragon's heritage, a special kind of blood, and how it might be that the strange things happening to your body have something to do with that. Again, these are a return to familiar From themes, blood, resurrection, and there's more to it when you start dying more regularly. First of all, when you die, half your XP progress to the next level and half your sen, or currency, disappears. You can't recover it like in Dark Souls or Bloodborne, as this screen explains. But sometimes you can be the recipient of unseen aid, whereby you lose nothing at all. This is simply explained as the unseen aid of Buddha and the gods. There's a stat to track the chances of it happening on any given death, and it's a departure from, or at least a variation on, the risk, reward, recovery systems that From has used before. Only a few hours in, I can't tell you what can increase your chances of receiving this aid, but here's what happens when I died several times. I woke up to the sculptor again, not at an idol, but in a replay of the first cutscene, and I received these two emblems called Essence of Rot. They relate to specific characters in the world who are now weakened and coughing, as though my deaths and the power invoked to resurrect me had a balancing effect of degrading the world somehow. It's another theme that's familiar from earlier games, the world tendency of Demon Souls, the hollowing in Dark Souls, the insight and moon phases of Bloodborne. As this screen reveals, the name for this is Dragon Rot. It specifically relates to the dragon power and resurrection. Again, I have more questions than answers. I wasn't able to find out exactly why this Dragon Rot appeared. Was it the number of deaths I'd had? Was it the nature of them? Can I fix this and get rid of the rot essence, thereby improving my chances of receiving unseen aid? I'm also not sure if it might be related to when I died, because in this particular instance, I travelled to somewhere unusual. I met this old woman who handed me this bell. By taking the bell to the Buddha in the sculptor's temple, the one made by the true sculptor, and making an offering, I was transported. Listen to what the sculptor says.
目をつぶり、鈴の声を聞いてやるといい。その鈴の音が呼び覚ますじゃろう。眠っちまってる。お前さんの古い記憶を。
It seems the wolf has amnesia of some kind, relating to the attack which led to the initial capture of the young lord. And the bell and the statue offer a way of reliving these memories and understanding the past. You play through this old event like any other level. In fact, similar to how different planes of reality seem to be connected in Bloodborne, you can travel using the idols from the Hirata state in the past back to the present. Time and memory here are not as insistently linear as they are in other games. It was specifically here, or then, that I died, right before the rot essence appeared. Although whether this was the trigger, I don't know. Mostly what I have are more questions about the power of the divine heir, the purpose for which he's been captured, and about the power of his blood to grant resurrections, and how that power might relate to the infested like Hanbei, who seem to be immortal for other reasons. But that's the joy of From Software's games, finding out not just what's happening, but what they are about, how they incorporate shifting but similar ideas and themes about life, time and reality. This is a very humble starting point, but I hope it leaves you interested to find out more. Let me know if you've enjoyed the video by leaving a comment, do subscribe if you like this and want more, and we'll see you soon.
For the players.